Hello everyone, in this video I will be looking at the NET Bible from Thomas Nelson. This is the large print Thinline Art Edition. This is the box. Pretty simple. There's not much actual information on this box, to be honest. It has a picture of the Bible itself, kind of a little bit of the general what it's called information, and some information on the interior design features. But other than that, this box does not have much information on this particular Bible and the interior specs. So that's something I do like to see on the box of a Bible. It does have some information on the New English translation, but it is lacking in detail. The price for retail is $44.99, so apparently that is the going rate, but you can obviously get it for much cheaper, around the $30, $25 range elsewhere. So here's the Bible itself. This is the blue leather soft. The cover is very plastic, reminiscent of plastic in my opinion. Not the best imitation leather that I've seen. I know some of Crossway's Bibles were like this early on, but they've also changed. And I know a lot of Thomas Nelson and Zondervan, the newer editions of the imitation leathers, have been very nice and much closer to leather than this. This is probably the biggest complaint, would just be the type of imitation leather. So you have perimeter stitching around the edge. Spine is kind of interesting. There's 4 places where hubs would be, but they're actually indented, and they're kind of a little bit darker blue inlay. Then you have Holy Bible, a design, which is one of the engraved images that you'll find in the Bible as well. NET with the logo and Thomas Nelson. And on the back you have the ISBN, which I prefer the ISBN to be stamped than embossed. So that's a plus for that. Dimensions on this thing are 9 1/4 inches tall and 6 3/16 inches wide. And this is just the block. It's a little bit taller with the cover. And it's just at 1 inch thick. So it's just over 1 inch with the cover. And this is a typical large print thin line Bible. And it's actually in Crossway, that is the large print Bible, matches this size. In the Zondervan, it would be the NASB thin line, large print thin line, and that's this one here. And you can see how close those are. It's a very similar footprint. So it's a pretty traditional, larger Bible, but it is thin. It's about 1 inch thick. So that keeps it portable and very user-friendly in my opinion. This is actually one of my favorite sized Bibles to carry around. Opening it up, we have a blue interior paste down liner. You can see here how it's popping up a little bit, and that's from the cover being so stiff. You have your presentation page on the very beginning, and then you get right into your text of the Bible itself. You have Holy Bible, and right into your publication page. It's a very minimalist Bible, to be honest, but that's good. You have 2021 was the printing, and the typeset is by 2K Denmark. So, and here's something you will also notice that I found very interesting. The print location is not China or the US, it is South Korea. So that's just an interesting little piece of information there. I was surprised to see that. So you have your contents. And there are pretty much nothing extra besides the text itself. You do have a 365-day reading plan. You have To the Reader, an introduction to the New English translation. I would encourage people to read this. I have not read it yet, but I will, because I want to learn a little bit more about this translation itself as a translation. Then you have the translation team. And then you have the Old Testament. And again, you have the NET logo here. And here's your first engraved picture. Now, these pictures are originally from the Abide Bible journals from Thomas Nelson. I have not encountered those or seen those. That's obviously not something I've used much. So that's where these originally were from. So if you have that, you will recognize many of these. And they were done by Stephen Krotz, who did the artwork for the Abide journals as well. And they are only in the beginning of the books. So at the beginning of each book of the Bible, there is a picture that represents a theme or something to do with a character in that book. So Genesis, you have basically like a garden, a tree, probably the tree of life, something that will remind you or lead you into the story. So each chapter or each book actually does have a single page overview of the contents. So you have survey of Genesis and then Christ in Genesis. This is a really cool theme. I'm glad they have this in here because it helps you kind of unite in your understanding of the scripture, how Jesus is found throughout the whole Bible. So that is a nice clarifying feature at the beginning of each book. Your text is a 10.5 comfort print. So this is another one of Thomas Nelson and Zondervan's collaborations with 2K Denmark to do a unique typesetting for each translation of the Bible. This one is interesting. It's obviously different than the NKJV and the NASB. I'm not sure that I like it or dislike it. I'm actually not convinced either way yet. It's a really easy font and texture to read. I will say that. So you have paragraph format. It is line matched. There's not much margin space at all. And then you have everything in black. So your chapter, verse numbers, and subject headings are all in black. And you will also notice here that it does have overcast stitching. So the two biggest things that I noticed for this being a non-premium Bible was just the South Korean printing, which I thought was interesting, and the overcast stitching, which is a reinforcement feature and usually only found in premium Bibles. So that was a surprise, but that is nice to see in there. And this is pretty much the layout you're going to see through the entire book. It's really clean. Poetic settings have a verse-by-verse format, as is the case in most translations. And you do have the information on the Psalms, pretty much typical of a Bible. Now, this one does not have the NET, the full list of NET translator notes. Now, I am not familiar with the full notes edition, but I have seen many reviews on it and would like to get it in the future. But they do have their translation philosophy and all the reasons that they did specific words and translations, how they translated it. They have that all in one Bible, which is the full notes edition. This one does not have all of those notes. You can look those up online. It does have a select few. So you can see here, it does have textual footnotes at the bottom. Some of the major ones from that full notes edition. So you won't find the full notes here. Getting to the New Testament, here you have more of the designs. New Testament, you will immediately see that it does have a New Testament page. And then Matthew, you have another design, a boat, fisherman, and then it is a black letter text. And this one, as with the Christian Standard Bible, the Old Testament quotes and New Testament are in bold. And I do like that. That is something I am very appreciative of. And these ones are actually in cursive as well. So that's a unique feature to this translation that I hadn't thought of before, actually. The paper is a 30 GSM paper, so it's really easy to turn. It's opaque. The opacity is really nice. And then you have two 3/8" ribbons. These are some of the best ribbons for a non-premium Bible that I have seen. So you have a blue and kind of an off gold. It's really pretty, actually. And they're super thick, double-sided satin. It's quite amazing to see such nice ribbons in this little Bible. I was pleasantly surprised. And then we have at the end, we'll get to the back here, you have your 365-day reading plan, and then you go straight into maps. These are on semi-gloss, semi-thick cardstock. Not bad. Typical maps. Nothing special. And then you go right to the end. So I think I've hit all the points that I noticed on this. The obviously have a gold gilding. It's not, you can see kind of here that the pages aren't super even. You can kind of see how some are, this darker line is where they're lower, where the stitching has kind of popped up a little bit. Overall, it's on the minimal end of cost, so you're not going to be spending a ton of money on this Bible. However, if you are into the NET translation or just like having an alternate translation to look up things, this is an excellent version to do that with, and it's a beautiful Bible to be sure. The designs are very complementary to the rest of the text of Scripture. So hopefully that was helpful, and thanks for watching.